Hello, everybody. I'm working on supper tonight. What to eat? You know, that's always the big question. What's for supper? And nobody wants to say. Well, tonight I'm going to try pork chops in the Instapot. And Susan, my sister-in-law, this is for you because she got an Instapot for Christmas and is looking for recipes. So I'm making this one for her. I've got 3 pork chops here, and you can use up to 4. These are bone-in. You can do boneless as well. I think if it's boneless, you will cook them for not as long. I'm going to cook these in the Instapot for 15 minutes. If they were boneless, I would be cooking them for 5 minutes, and then you do the release after that. Right now, I'm going to season them. That was probably too much information right now. I'm going to season these with the salt and pepper and everything, and I've got thyme and garlic powder. I'm gonna put all this on the pork chops. I just bought this, so I've got to open it up, and we're gonna brown it in the Instapot on saute mode. I have an old Instapot, so I don't have saute mode. If you have an older Instapot, I just turn it on low so that it gets hot enough to saute with. That's really all you're doing anyways. So if yours doesn't have a saute mode, it's just turn it on to where you have heat. Well, that's how I do it anyways. I probably need a new Instapot. Anyways, we're going to just season them to your taste. I'm going to season both sides. I'm going to add a little bit of dry mustard to them, not a lot. And well, that was thyme. This is the mustard. That was dried thyme. This is a little bit of dried mustard and garlic powder. And now I'm going to turn them over and do the same thing on the other side. I think these are going to be scrumptious. I'm keep looking for more Instapot recipes because I'm fairly new to the Instapot too. So I'm just learning and finding recipes and improvising them, doing them a little bit different than what I'm finding. This is rosemary. I'm going to go ahead and add that to it. This is going to be tender pork chops, and it's going to be a mushroom gravy with it also. And it's gonna be with Amish noodles, which I'm gonna cook the noodles on the stovetop because I really would need 2 Instapots to be able to get it done because they have different cook times, so I'm not cooking them all the same. But I've had this on for a while so it could get hot, and I'm going to add olive oil, about a tablespoon or 2. Give it a second to get hot. And then we're going to add these pork chops to it. See if it's hot enough. Yeah, you can hear it sizzling. Well, it's not real hot because it's not sizzling real hard. I'm going to put all 3 in because I think there's room. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to do 2 and then I'll do the other one. And what I'm going to do, because we're going to pull them back out, I guess I'll get a second plate. I was going to put them back on that plate. But I'm going to put the sauteed ones on a clean plate because we have to do other stuff. So what we're doing is about a minute or 2, we're going to brown them on each side. I'm going to leave it there so they can get good and browned. If you don't do this step, you won't have the brown, you won't have the crusty edges, and you do want that. This all gives it a lot of flavor when you do this. This is where you're getting your flavor. Okay, so we got the brown edges. Now I'm going to turn both of these over, and then we're going to let it brown on the other side. So that's got brown. That's how we really want it on both sides. I didn't really get it as brown on the one side, but I'm going to leave it. And that's browned. Now we've got one more to do. Whoa, I'm dropping it. We're going to do the same thing with that one and let it brown. Okay, so I've got this brown on both sides. And now I'm going to saute my vegetables. And it already has olive oil in it, but I'm going to add some butter for flavor, for a little more flavor. Probably about a tablespoon. Do a tablespoon or two, because I already have quite a bit of oil still in there. Just want to make sure there's enough for the veggies. And I've cut up I've sliced one yellow onion and 3 cups of it's the Bella, it's the brown mushrooms, the Bella mushrooms, but you can use the white mushrooms as well. These just have a little more flavor. So I'm going to get a spatula or a wood spoon. Actually, let me get, and we're going to put these in and saute that in there. Just want a nice saute, and I'm going to go ahead and add some thyme and rosemary to that for flavor. And after they cook a little bit, I've got fresh garlic that I'm going to add to it. And it was 2 pods that I chopped up. And this is just thyme and rosemary to add a little flavor to that. After these saute, then well, I'll show you. We'll get these sauteed up. So these are sauteing. They're looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead, because they're already looking good. So I'm going to go ahead. This is garlic that I'm adding to it. Let that get in there. Okay, so it's sauteed, and I'm going to turn it off right now. And I'm going to add, I'm going to add Worcestershire. I can't ever say it, but I'm going to add a little bit of this, just a couple of drops. And a little more thyme. And then we're going to add, this is 1 1/4 cups of beef stock. And what I'm doing is I'm scraping all the brown from everything that I've sauteed. I'm trying to get all the little crispies and everything off the edges. So now I'm going to add the pork chops back into this, and you kind of want to push it into the juice. And it's okay if they overlap now, because they're going to. That's why I didn't saute them together. They're going to stick out a little bit out of the juice. And we're going to add a can of cream of mushroom soup on top. Or a portion of the can. Because we're making a gravy. This makes a gravy with it. So now we're gonna seal it. And I'm setting it for 15 minutes. And it takes 15 minutes to heat up. I want to make sure this is it's vent where it won't vent. So we're going to cook it. We're going to let it cook for 15 minutes after it powers up, which will be about 15 minutes. And then once that's done, then the steam, it's going to natural release for 10 minutes. And then I'll show you the rest. Okay, so my pork chops are cooking. They've got about 6 more minutes, and then they have to sit in the steam for 10 minutes. But while that's going on, my water's boiling. I'm going to add my noodles, and because we'll add this to that when we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and get those ready. And I'm using the Amish noodles. You can use any kind of egg noodles. I just like the Amish brand. And I've already salted the water. I'll put a little oil in it too. Okay, I'm doing the natural release now. It was on 10 minutes, and then we're natural releasing it. As soon as that's done, I'll open it up and take the pork chops out. I've got the noodles ready to put in to the juice, to the gravy, and to thicken it, instead of using cornstarch to thicken it, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sour cream. That will thicken it. And I'm going to add, I've saved a little bit of the starch water from the noodles that I will add into it too. That is all a thickener. And that's how I'm going to thicken it. I'm going to open it. See the juice in there, the gravy, you can tell is thin. Those look yummy. We'll take those out. I'm going to add the noodles to it too, so that actually will thicken it up because it's going to cover the noodles. That was hot. Okay, 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Let's see if this trick works. This is all an experiment, y'all are watching me tonight. I'm making this up as I go. Okay, and then I'm gonna stir that all up. It's very thin. See, that's not gonna be enough to thicken it. Okay, I've decided that it needs to be thickened up, so I am gonna go ahead and do cornstarch. So I've got a tablespoon of water and a tablespoon of cornstarch that I'm gonna stir together to get smooth before I add it to it. The thing is, you want equal amounts. This should be good. We'll put it on saute for a little longer with this to get it thicker. And turn it up. Thicken it up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of that. That's the rest of that sour cream in there. You can tell it's thickening up, and when it gets a little thicker, I'm going to add my noodles. Like I said before, I saved a little bit of the starch water, and I'm going to add a little bit of that to it because that helps it too. Plus just the flavor of it. And you can see that not all the sour cream has absorbed yet. But I can tell it's not thick, but I can see it thickening up. It's not as loose as it was. So it has thickened up some, not as much as I really want. So I would do 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water when you do it. And that's what I'll put in the directions below. But I'm going to go ahead and go with it the way it is because I'm going to add the noodles in. They're all clumping together. I should have put them in sooner. So I have added the noodles and I'm mixing it into the sauce. That's the sauce and the onions. So it's ready. So we will just scoop it out of this and we'll do our pork chops here, and we made broccoli to go with it. That's how we're going to do it. You could also do green beans. I hope you enjoy this meal. It looks really scrumptious to me. The pork chops are very tender. Thank you for watching. Be sure and try it and tell me what you think. It is an easy recipe to do. Took about 30 minutes with the time to build up the pressure and to do it. Everything, it was probably about 30 minutes to cook it all. Maybe a little longer, not much longer. And it was easy, and it's an easy cleanup. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and to like it. That helps me to keep on making videos for you. And if you have suggestions of things you would like for me to cook, make suggestions below, and I will give it a try. I'm always looking for ideas of things to make. Thanks for watching. Bye.